1,147 items that I brought out and cleaned up and so on. I didn't count the broken glass things that I bundled up and brought away to the proper garbage disposal. I just counted the things that I could clean up and keep. It's surprising what you will find when you start looking. The great thing about it, when you start hunting around for garbage, you start to find marvelous natural things just pop out at you that you might not have noticed. Two examples, there is a Canada plum tree growing in that little corner of the world. I've only ever seen them in the Ottawa Valley. It produces marvelous little array of pink flowers in the springtime. There are some plants there that I don't know what they are. There are also some invasive species. There's a kind of impatiens. And maybe some of you are gardeners or you know plants, but I think it's an impatiens glandulifera. It originated in the Himalayas, but it's now in Canada and it's really taking over. It's one of those invasive plants that's everywhere. So you start to think, oh, maybe I should be pulling that stuff too as part of the effort. But then I noticed when I'm in the Bowendale Valley and in certain seasons, the bees just love them, honeybees particularly. So I said, okay, there's another side to the story. This is an invasive plant, but it's turning out to be kind of helpful. So you look at these natural locations and have great experiences, both positive and negative. Last point I would make is that it will be obvious to you, I think, that there are a good deal of beer being consumed in the valley there, and it probably, this could be prejudicial, but probably involves teenagers. So I tried to play a game of chess with them to clean up after them and maybe leave the occasional note for them. But I tried to do it in a kind of endlessly positive way. There's always a contradiction with me. There's always another side. Because those cedar trees that were killed, they become an interesting array of cedar branches. I get to look at what cedar trees look like when they don't have foliage on them. Burned limbs, whoa, kind of like the look of those blacks. So I get to collect that and take it home. I did ask for permission from the authorities before I took that out. This is actually part of it here, this piece right here, and those two were attached to it, and I just came in with a bow saw and got a little hand cart that I borrowed from a former teaching colleague, trundled it in, loaded them up, and took them out in the back of my car. Now what do I do with them? Various glues, it was fish glue that I used to stabilize the charcoal and let that thoroughly dry, and then applied linseed oil mixed with some turpentine. So I felt kind of neat because you're using natural materials and no plastic was involved. So I sort of thought, okay, I'm going to do something careless. I'm going to produce artwork where it looks like I don't really care. I'm just going to ink up some of these flat cans that I find. They don't actually come from, most of them don't come from the valley. I just pick them up in the streets, here in Bowendale, in Belleville, in Ottawa, in Toronto, wherever I go. They're kind of neat because they're nice and thin and they just slide into your camera bag and away you go. So I decided that I would use up a roll of paper that was given to us at the school over a decade ago, and it just sat on the floor in the art storeroom, and none of us knew quite what to do with it. But it turned out that it was pretty thick cotton. So it was perfect. And I was going to the art club, and they let me use the old etching press that I bought years ago for my grade 11 class. So I would just ink up those cans and ink up a few leaves and plunk them down on the bed of the printing press, put on some wet paper, roll it through, see what you get. Then I would take them and just paint on them and try not to
think of these as polished or finished works of art, but just paint instinctively, just do something, and try not to spend much time at it. And that's kind of new for me, because everything downstairs, you can kind of tell, it's labor intensive. There'd be 30 or 40 hours of painting on the big paintings. There might be 15 to 20 hours in each of the drawings. Sort of labor intensive things. So I just tried to crank on to see what happened. And I decided I would try to equalize the pressure to avoid any warping by gluing another piece on the other side. So each one of these has another artwork on the other side. So there are 38 images altogether. And that gave Sandy some choice, because she thought, whoa, what is this process here? He's doing stuff that he doesn't care about. He's just plunking stuff down. So that was a neat thing, that I could turn them over to Sandy and she could make her choice as to which ones worked the best.